From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is the evening news blast for October 23rd, 2025. LGBTQ Nation is reporting a report released this week by the Institute for Strategic Dialogue found a huge increase in anti-LGBTQ plus hate, threats, and violence in the United States, United Kingdom, and Europe, which researchers frame as a backlash to 20 years of positive progress. The report provides an overview of anti-LGBTQ plus trends from the last 5 years, examining issues both online and in the real world. After 2 decades of gains for LGBTQ plus visibility and rights in many countries, anti-LGBTQ plus targeted hate and rhetoric are on the rise, say ISD's Guy Fiennes and Paula-Charlotte Matlach of the ISD in the report. Offline, there has been a surge of reported hate crimes and book bans alongside a wave of government and legislative actions targeting LGBTQ plus rights with a focus on trans people. Online, LGBTQ plus individuals face coordinated harassment campaigns, a rollback of digital protections, and systematic erasure from AI training, data, and moderation. ISD defines anti-LGBTQ plus hate as activity which seeks to dehumanize, demonize, harass, threaten, or incite violence against an individual or community based on their LGBTQ plus identity, as well as activity that discriminates against the community or those perceived to be part of it, and activity which erases LGBTQ plus voices or rolls back LGBTQ plus rights and protections. This includes everything from hate crimes to book bans to online censorship. According to ISD, there has been a surge in hate crimes against LGBTQ plus people, with the FBI reporting that 20% of hate crimes in 2024 were motivated by an anti-LGBTQ plus bias for the third year in a row. GLAAD reported 918 anti-LGBTQ plus incidents in 2024, with a shockingly large proportion of those, 48%, targeting the proportionally smaller trans, non-binary, and gender non-conforming community. The group notes that LGBTQ plus people are 5 times more likely to be the victim of a violent crime in the United States than non-LGBTQ plus people. Similarly, over a 5-year period in the UK, ISD tracked overall increases of 50% in anti-trans crimes and 18.1% in sexual orientation-related crimes, with a notable peak in 2021-2022. And additionally, ISD points out that many anti-LGBTQ plus crimes in the UK may go unreported. In wider Europe, ISD found that workplace discrimination was down and that LGBTQ plus people were increasingly to be open about their identities. However, that has correlated with an increase in violence and harassment, including more bullying at schools. As part of their study, ISD included evaluations of the anti-LGBTQ plus actions taken by respective governments and how that might influence or reflect hateful statements in those countries. The U.S. has seen a huge increase in anti-LGBTQ plus bills over the last decade, and the anti-LGBTQ plus actions of the current administration are considered extensive. To a lesser degree, the researchers cite the UK's Supreme Court ruling on the legal definition of a woman and the promised policies from the growing Reform Party, which largely follows the same playbook as the US government. In some parts of Europe, things are more extreme, as Hungary recently banned pride parades and Georgia has banned same-sex marriage and adoption. When it comes to the online world, ISD paints a picture of a worsening landscape, one with deep real-world connections. The report explains that US-based violent extremist accounts and groups that targeted LGBTQ plus communities showed that online hate often spiked in response to real-world events and political developments. That aligns with some of the responses to the death of Charlie Kirk. The Institute for Strategic Dialogue researchers cite a 2022 survey from the Digital Youth Index that suggests LGBTQ plus youth are twice as likely as non-LGBTQ plus youth to experience online abuse from strangers, yet many social media platforms have been rolling back LGBTQ plus protections and broadly under-moderate anti-LGBTQ plus hate content and over-moderate content from LGBTQ plus individuals. That overmoderation has been exacerbated by an increase in AI moderation tools that disproportionately remove reclaimed LGBTQ plus slurs that are being used self-referentially. This results in censorship and erasure of many LGBTQ plus creators. The ISD also points out that all of this hate affects those outside of the LGBTQ plus community as well. Non-LGBTQ plus people who don't conform to traditional gender stereotypes have been targeted by anti-LGBTQ plus people, such as so-called transvestigators. Librarians have been the targets of threats and harassment for refusing to remove LGBTQ plus books, and school board officials have reported an increase in abuse from anti-LGBTQ plus activist groups. That's the News Blast for this hour. If you are watching our news videos on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe to our channel. PEP Radio is available on the Live 365 app, the PEP Radio page at paequality.com, Roku, and Alexa. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.